welcome back to Yogarobix Part 2, Day 7. Let's begin in a nice comfortable seat. Hey Zoe. Bye Zoe. Just crisscross applesauce, cross at the ankles or half lotus, sitting up nice and tall. Nice long spine, shoulders down, close your eyes. We're going to take a few breaths just to become present on the mat. Start with a deep breath in. Empty out your exhale. Deep breath in. And empty out your exhale. One more. Let's reach the arms over the head, and we're going to just climb the rope, stretching out the sides, keeping both sits bones on the mat. And let's go ahead and twist over to the right, look over that right shoulder. You can take a breath here. Come around to the other side, look over that shoulder. Take a breath here. Let's walk it out. You can bring forehead to the mat. If not, keep it in line with the spine. And walk it back up. Switch the legs. The opposite leg comes on top now, and walk it out. Take a breath here. Walk it on up. Let's do a couple shoulder rolls. Reverse. Place the backs of your hands on the mat, and then round through your back. And let's flip those hands around so fingers face you, and then round through your back. Couple wrist rolls, and reverse. Let's turn to face the front of our mat, feet flat on the mat in front of us, hands come behind you. We're going to cross the right leg over the left, and then begin to walk the foot that's on the mat closer, and you can wrap your arms around and kind of hug those legs into your chest. You should feel a nice stretch in the hip and the back of that thigh. Keep your spine nice and long and straight. Try not to round through your back. And let's bring our hands behind us, fingers facing our body. You can walk that foot out. And we're going to lift into tabletop, open the chest, lower but do not touch the ground, and lift. Lower and lift. Couple more, breathing on your own. Uncross that leg. Cross the left leg over now. If you need your hands to help it along, that's fine. And we're going to walk the foot that's on the mat in just a bit, still keeping a nice straight spine. You can keep your hands on the mat or hug those arms around to pull your chest in a little closer towards the legs. Take a couple breaths here. Back behind us, walk that foot out a bit, and we're going to lift, lower, but don't touch the ground, lift, lower, keep going and breathing on your own. Lower it down. We're going to swing the legs around and come right into tabletop. Bring the knees under the hips. Hands come under the shoulders. Widen those fingers. Tighten the core by lifting the belly button towards the spine. We're going to curl our toes under and lift about an inch or maybe 2 off the mat. And we're going to straighten the right leg. Hold for a breath. And bring that in. Straighten the left leg. Keep it in line with the hips. And take a breath. Bring it in. Take it to the other side. Lower it down, flatten those feet. Let's do some cat-cows. Open the chest, lift the chin, arch the back, breathe in. Exhale, round through, push through that mat, chin to chest. Coming back, inhale. Exhale, round it through. One more. And neutral spine. Come down to your elbows. Coming to a forearm plank. Pushing back through those heels, tucking the pelvis under. We're going to drop the hips over to the left. Come up through center. Drop them over to the right. They don't need to come all the way down. And come through center. Drop, center, right, center. Drop, center, right, center. One more. Drop your knees down. Coming right into puppy pose. Chest melts towards the mat, forehead towards the mat. Take a couple breaths here. If you find you have tightness in your upper back, you can widen your arms. And let's go ahead and come right into Sphinx pose. Elbows are right under the shoulders. Belly is not melting on the mat. We want to lift the belly off, pushing through the hips and the tops of the feet. We're going to take a deep breath in, hands widen. Exhale, push up and lower. Up, lower. Up, lower. Up, lower. Up, lower. 2 more. And melt all the way down to your belly. Hands come under your shoulders, curl your toes. Come into your first downward dog. Pedal the feet. Take a few breaths. Tailbone comes up towards the sky. And from here, we're going to round forward. And we're going to take a chaturanga. You can drop your knees down to modify. And open it up. Upward facing dog. Breathe in. Bend the knees. And exhale into your downward dog. We're going to do 2 more like that. Round forward. Drop it down. Open it up. Bend and come back to your downward dog. Pedal the feet. One more time. Round it forward. Drop it down. Open it up. Coming back. Downward dog. Pedal the feet. Take a deep breath. On your next breath in, right leg comes high, three-legged dog. Exhale, come forward, 3 taps. Come back, three-legged dog, breathe in. Exhale, 3 more. Come back, three-legged dog, breathe in. Exhale, 3 taps. Lower down that leg, slide back on the back leg, coming into pigeon pose. Let's walk the hands back and open the chest as much as you can. Take a deep breath here. And exhale, walk it forward. Melt that forehead to the mat. Take a few breaths. Let's walk it up. Curl the back toes under. From here, you can come right to your downward dog or a three-legged dog. Wherever you are, widen the fingers. We're going to lift up on that back leg. Come into your downward dog or your three-legged dog. Take a breath, pedal the feet. Tailbone up towards the sky. On your next breath in, left leg comes high. Three-legged dog. Exhale, tap 3 times. Come right back up, three-legged dog. Exhale, tap. Three-legged dog, inhale. And exhale, tap. Now we're gonna lay that leg down right in front. Slide back on that back leg. Opening up the chest, let's walk the fingertips back. Take a breath here. And begin to walk and melt the chest and forehead to the mat. You can also stay up on your forearms if this is too much. Take a couple breaths here. And let's walk it back up. Again, you can choose to come right back into downward dog or three-legged dog. So you're going to curl the back toes, lift the knee, and slide the leg up. Square the hips, and come back to downward dog. From here, we're going to walk the hands back. You can bend your knees, coming into forward fold. Slowly rise up, arms overhead, and swan dive it down. Walk those hands up. Chaturanga, drop the knees down to modify or lower down, open it up, come back to a high plank, and begin to walk it back. Roll it up, arms overhead, swan dive down, walk it out. Chaturanga, drop the knees down or drop down, open it up, come into a high plank, walk it back. Roll it up, arms overhead, swan dive down, walk it out. Last chaturanga. This time lower all the way to your belly. Hands come down by your side. We're going to do a couple locusts. So we're going to take a deep breath in. Tighten that core. Exhale. Lift. Lower. Deep breath in. Tighten the core. Exhale. Lift. Last one. Take a deep breath in. Tighten the core. Exhale. Lift. Lower down. Hands come under the shoulders. We're going to come into a tabletop. Widen the knees. Big toes to touch. Sit back on those heels. Melt everything towards the mat. Let's take a break. Couple breaths here. You guys are doing awesome. I know it's not easy. And if it sounds like I repeat myself a lot, it's just for the new people. So if you're a veteran, sorry, you just got to deal with it. You just never know when somebody new is starting. I get messages a lot, like people I had no idea were even doing my yoga, and they're like, I've been doing your yoga for 30 days, and I'm like, oh, I had no idea. So that's why. So just hang in there with me. We're all gonna grow together eventually. Yeah, I'm working on getting my certification, so. All right, let's come back into our tabletop. I don't know when that's gonna be. I'm working towards saving the money, gathering the money. We're gonna come from tabletop, turn, and let's stretch out that right leg, keeping the left arm on the mat. Open up that right arm to the sky, and we're going to lift and lower on that right leg. Lift and lower. Make sure you're breathing. Turn, come back to your tabletop. We're gonna turn and straighten that left leg out now. The right arm comes onto the mat, left arm to the sky, and we lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. Make sure you're breathing. Turning back. We're going to come into a side plank now. So if you need to modify, you can leave that knee on the ground, or we're going to come into a high plank, turn, and open it up. If you want to take it one step further, you can lift and lower, lift and lower. Make sure you're breathing. Everybody turn, come back to a high plank. If you were in a modified side plank, you'll probably come into a tabletop first and then come into a high plank. We're going to take it to the other side. If you need to modify, drop your knee down and come in to a modified side plank. Otherwise, come into your high plank, turn onto the side of that foot, open it up. And if you want to take it one step further, lift and lower. Lift and lower. Keep those hips lifted. And come back to your high plank. Come right into your downward dog. Pedal those feet. Take a deep breath. Tailbone towards the sky. Let's lift up those heels and sink them down. Lift up, down, one more time. Bend the knees, bring belly towards your thighs, and sink those heels down. Belly to thighs, sink them down. One more time. Come up on those tippy toes, and we're gonna walk all the way to the front of the mat, coming into a forward fold. You can grasp your elbows here, sway it out, and let's slowly roll it up. One vertebrae at a time. Head comes up last, arms overhead, hands to heart. Take a deep breath. One more breath. Make sure your feet come together as much as possible. Knees should be touching. We're going to come into chair pose. Sitting back on the heels, you should be able to lift the toes, open the chest. We're going to twist over to the right. So the outside of the left elbow comes to the outside of the right thigh. Bringing the weight into the right leg. See if you can step back on the left leg, coming into a high lunge. Take 3 breaths here. And then see if you can drop down on that back knee and lift. Drop it down, lift. While you breathe. Frame that foot. We're going to bend on that back leg and step it right up. Forward fold. Slowly rise up. Arms overhead. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Knees are together, feet are together. We come right into our chair pose. Sit back. Weight is in the heels. We're going to twist over to the left. Outside of that right elbow comes to the outside of the left thigh. Lifting the belly off the thighs, tightening the core. We're going to put some weight on that left foot now. And step back with that right foot. Take a couple breaths here. And see if you can drop it down and lift. Drop it down, lift. Make sure you're breathing. Frame the front foot, bend on the back foot, come back to your forward fold. Take a breath here. Maybe you hug it in. And slowly roll it up. Arms overhead, inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Lift all left toes, all 5 of your left toes, and spread that foot out on the mat. Lifting the right knee, we're going to grab the top of that foot and stretch that heel towards the glute. Eventually coming into dancer's pose. So you might want to use a chair or a wall if need be with your free hand to give you some extra balance if you're not comfortable doing it on your own. There's nothing wrong with modifying. Then we're going to walk the hand around to the inside of the foot. And as we do, find your focus. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, we're going to come forward, kicking that leg up to the sky. You can bring the left arm in front for counterbalance. Make sure you're focused and breathing. Slowly release. And let's take it to the other side. Lift all 5 of the right toes, put them down. We're going to lift that left knee, grab that top of the foot, stretch the heel towards the glute. Find your focus here. We're going to walk that hand on the inside of that foot. Once you find your focus, take a deep breath and begin coming forward, kicking that leg up to the sky. You can hold on to a wall or a chair. Make sure you're focusing and breathing. Slowly release. Shake it out. Reach the arms up overhead. Breathe in. And exhale. Dive it down. Halfway lift. Hands to shins. Nice long spine. From the crown of the head to the tailbone. Inhale. Exhale. Forward fold. Hands come to the mat. Step it back. Drop the knees down. We're going to curl the toes under, lift about an inch again off of the mat. And this time we bring knee to chest, bring it back. Knee to chest and back. Continue breathing. Drop those knees down, swing it around. And we're going to do some core work. Slowly lower back, one vertebrae at a time. Bringing the legs parallel with your hips and shins parallel with the sky. 90-degree angle. Steeple grip. Lift your upper back off of the mat. And we're going to come over to the left and pulse. Come over to the right and pulse. Come through center and pulse. Hug everything in. Give yourself a little back massage. Rocking back and forth. Bring those feet up to the sky. Hands can come under the glutes. And we're going to drop down halfway. Point the toes and lift. Drop down and lift. Flat on the mat. Right leg crosses over. Lift that left leg. We're gonna wrap those fingers around the back of that thigh. Pull everything in. You can straighten that leg if you like. Pull everything in close, keeping your entire back on the mat. And release. Let's take it over to the other side. Left leg crosses over, lift it up. Bring those hands around the back of the thigh, pull everything in. And you can straighten that leg if you'd like. Take a deep breath. And lower it down. We're going to come up to a seat. So you can either turn to one side and come up to a seat or rock and roll. Grabbing the shins, making a little ball. Use the core to gain momentum. And rock and roll a few times. Okay, we're going to work on some splits. So if you have a block, go ahead and grab it. If you don't, it's okay. You don't need it. Coming into a tabletop. We're going to bring the right leg forward. Both hands are now on the inside of that leg. We're going to frame that front foot and sink deep into that front hip, coming into a low lunge. You can flatten the back foot. And then we come into runner's lunge, flexing that foot, keeping a nice height, nice long spine, coming back, sinking into that front hip. From here, we're going to come into neutral. We're going to turn that front foot out. So that foot is turned out. And we're going to bring the lower part of the leg, I guess the shin, the shin and the calf and the foot, and turn it in just about, I'd say 30 degrees. And then we're going to lift up. Hands on your hips, Keeping the hips square to the front, we want to lean forward. We don't want to lean over that leg, we want to come forward. Opening up those hip flexors. One more time. And go ahead and straighten the front leg and the back leg. Come into a low lunge. One more time. And a runner's lunge. And you can place the block, if you have one, underneath you. If you don't need it, just use your fingertips. We're gonna walk back, inch back on that back leg, and we're going to slide forward on the front leg, eventually landing on that block. We wanna keep our hips as squared as possible and our spine nice and long. Take a few breaths here. And to come out of it, I'm going to bring both hands over to the left side. I'm going to turn my back leg in and just kind of knee, toe it in until I'm able to bring both legs together comfortably. I'm going to move my block to the side, come into a tabletop. Knees under, hands nice and wide. I'm going to step that left foot up, and then I'm going to frame that front foot. Sinking deep into that front hip in a low lunge. And then we come back, runner's lunge. Nice long spine. Coming forward. One more time, runner's lunge. And here we're going to turn out on the front foot. And I'm going to turn in the lower half of that leg in the back, about 30 degrees. And I'm going to rise up, put my hands on my hips. Hips are square to the front. And we lean forward. Just opening up those hip flexors. One more time. And go ahead and straighten the front foot, straighten the back leg. We're going to do one more low lunge coming forward. And runner's lunge. Grab your block if you have it, place it underneath you. If not, use your fingers. We're going to walk, kind of inch back on that back leg, and then slide forward on that front leg. Landing on the block, sitting up nice and tall, facing front. Take a few breaths here. I'm going to place both hands on the inside of the right side of my mat. And then I'm going to lift up. I'm going to bring that lower part of my leg in the back in. And then I'm going to bring my knee in, then my toe, then my knee, until I can bring both legs together comfortably. All right, we're going to finish up with a nice seated meditation. If you want to sit up on your block, go for it. Or maybe a pillow or nothing. You don't need to sit up on anything if you don't have it. You can come into crisscross applesauce or half lotus, sitting up nice and tall. Nice long spine, shoulders down, crown of the head lifts, nice long neck. You can have your hands wherever they're comfortable for you. I like to place one on my heart and one on my belly to feel my breath and my heartbeat. We're going to close our eyes and just breathe. Be present. If you start thinking a bunch of thoughts, try to use your happy word. Just repeat it over and over until you come back to the present and stop thinking about whatever it is you're thinking about. The goal is to just be present and listen to the sound of your breath and be in a nice meditative state. So, start by taking a deep breath in. Exhale. Continue breathing on your own. Okay, let's bring our hands to heart. Give yourself a big smile. You can gently open your eyes. Today we're going to finish off a little bit different. We normally end with 2 chants where we Om, but I want to switch it up, mix it up a little bit. We're going to end with Shanti. You may have never heard of it, just kind of join in where you can. Eventually you'll get the hang of it. Let's come into a mudra, really pressing through the fingertips, awakening those nerves. Hands can be on your knees. We're going to close our eyes. And we begin with a Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And that's it. Give yourself a smile. Hands to heart. Thank you guys so much for practicing with me today. I hope to see you tomorrow for day 8. I love showing up here every day on my mat. It gives me purpose. It fills my soul. And I hope it does the same for you. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste. Love y'all.